So 13th of January, 1986. And the essence of the Murli is Brahmin life, a life of constant, unlimited happiness. Brahmin life, a life of constant, unlimited happiness. So if we are happy all the time, then see the entire universe will start to flow through us. And if we constantly feel as if the universe is flowing through us, then remaining happy will become easy. Sometimes when challenges come, situations change, things become a little difficult, then we oftentimes lose our happiness. Baba says, no matter what happens, your happiness should not go away. So many times, you know, you know that such things, such situations rob you of your happiness, but it has become so programmed in our minds. We have become so habituated to create sorrow for ourselves that remaining happy becomes almost impossible in those times, in those situations. But let's see how we can become constant and unlimited in our happiness. So the Murli is today, Bab Dada is looking at the gathering of his holy and happy swans. Today, Bab Dada is looking at the gathering of his holy and happy swans. Do all of you always remain happy as well as holy? Holy means the visible form of purity and is constantly revealed in the form of happiness. So if there is impurity, then automatically happiness will go away. So if we want complete happiness, constant happiness, then we have to be pure. We have to have complete purity. If there isn't happiness, there is definitely some impurity. That is, some thoughts or deeds are not correct, and this is why there isn't happiness. Impurity does not just mean the five vices. For perfect souls, for those who are to become deity souls, to have incorrect, wasteful, or ordinary thoughts, words, and actions is not complete purity. For perfect souls, for those who are to become deity souls, to have incorrect, wasteful, or ordinary thoughts, words, and actions is not complete purity. You're coming close to your perfect stage. Therefore, according to the present time, let there be no wasteful or ordinary actions. There has to be checking and changing in this too. That is more subtle checking. And of course, change has to be there. We many times check, but we don't follow through with the entire process of changing. So checking has to be accompanied with a plan to change. So the more powerful and elevated your thoughts, words, and actions are, the more you will experience the sparkle of happiness and the intoxication of being fortunate, and also give that experience to others. The more powerful and elevated your thoughts, words, and actions are, the more you will experience the sparkle of happiness and the intoxication of being fortunate, and also give that experience to others. Bab Dada was checking these two things in all the children. To what extent have you imbibed purity? To what extent is there still anything wasteful or ordinary? And to what extent do you have spiritual happiness, imperishable happiness, and inner happiness? The aim of all the Brahmin children who adopt this Brahmin life is to remain constantly happy. Yeah, what is Baba saying? The aim of all the Brahmin children who adopt this Brahmin life is to remain constantly happy. You have become Brahmins in order to lead a life of happiness. You have not become Brahmins to make effort laboriously or always to be experiencing one form of upheaval or another. You have become Brahmins in order to attain spiritual, inner happiness and supersensuous joy, which cannot be attained throughout the rest of the whole cycle. You have become Brahmins in order to attain spiritual inner happiness and supersensuous joy, which cannot be attained throughout the rest of the whole cycle. However, you have to check that your happiness is not based on any facilities, limited attainment, temporary success, respect, or glory, or limited desires of the mind you have received, or because you like a particular person, place, or possession. So, in other words, our happiness should not be on the basis of anything external, anything physical, because things will always change. I was seeing that the people whom you love and respect the most are the ones who knowingly or unknowingly become the biggest cause of your sorrow. You want to help them, guide them, but oftentimes they don't want to. Everybody has their own ways of living life, and even if your best intentions are met with lot of sometimes arrogance, sometimes defiance, sometimes opposition. So you see, all that we have in the physical realm is so temporary, so fleeting. So if we make these physical aspects, physical things, the basis of our happiness, we might have happiness for a short period of time, but that happiness is going to be followed by sadness. So Baba wants our happiness to be internal. Yeah? So check that your happiness is not based on your personal likings. The happiness based on those things is not real happiness. It is not imperishable happiness. If the support shakes, your happiness also shakes. You have not become Brahmins to attain that sort of happiness. Even people of the world have happiness based on temporary attainments. Their slogan is also eat, drink, and be merry. Yeah. So you see, in the world out there, they are eating, drinking, and are merry with those things. And every so often, when they find that those things are not giving happiness, then they start crying. But for us, Baba's children, a very similar kind of effect goes on. We also tend to base our happiness on, oh, how many students have come, how many people are there, did I get the service opportunity or not, or was it given to someone else, or because this happens all the time for Baba's children. Was I given enough respect? Was I given enough glory? Was I given enough toli, enough Brahma Bhojan? Somebody else was given a bigger toli. I was given a smaller toli. So many different things then come up for us too. So are we also in the same loop of eating, drinking, and being merry? Yeah. So, however, when that temporary happiness ends, their happiness also ends. So ours should not be like that. Na? In the Brahmin life too, if you experience happiness based on those supports, then what is the difference? You have become the children of the ocean of happiness, and you are therefore those who flow with the waves of happiness in every thought and at every second. You are constant treasures of happiness. This is called being a holy and happy swan. Bab Dada was saying that your aim is to have constant inner happiness without any limited support. And I have been thinking about this for some time. People in the world are chasing happiness, but we Baba's children also sometimes end up chasing happiness. They are chasing happiness through physical ways, physical means. We start to chase happiness through spiritual ways. Maybe if I do this meditation, maybe I do this Murli, maybe if I do this service, then I'll be happy. Yes, of course, all of these things bring happiness. But how about we become happy and then do these things? You understand the difference between the two. What I'm saying right now is for one is those who have been with Baba for quite a while, but also something to think about in the future. Right now, for many years, I would say you need to be in that state that you find happiness in Baba, with Baba. So, if, for example, You say, I come to the Baba center and I feel happy. This is a good thing. But with time, what should happen is that I am not that I don't come to center and yet I'm happy. That's the wrong interpretation of this whole aspect. Rather, I'm happy and then I'm going to center. You see, I'm happy as I'm going to center, if that makes sense. I'm happy regardless, you see, but that doesn't mean that I won't go
Yes.
to the center. I'm happy. So at the center, even if I don't get my chair to sit on, the one that I really like, my favorite angle, sometimes you like to sit on this side, right? Rather than on that side. If all these chairs are filled, say somewhere in the middle, some chair is left, say maybe, you get the smallest sized toli. Maybe, the service opportunity that you like to do has been already taken up by someone else, and so on and so forth. So still, you will be happy. You understand? Now, initially, yes, it has to be that I come to the center and I be happy, and that becomes the inspiration, the drive to come to the center, come to Baba, come to Murli class, and so on and so forth. You see, but sometimes what happens if we rely too much on just the Murli class or just the meditation experience, it is very possible, let's say, I am doing meditation commentary, and you feel that, yes, this meditation commentary is going to make me feel happy. Maybe my stage is not that good today. Maybe I'm going through my own challenges. Maybe my health is not good. Maybe I won't be able to do that powerful a meditation commentary, and then you'll be disappointed. So you understand. So these are very deep things to understand, and I've been thinking about it recently. And like, for example, next month or this month itself, October hasn't started. So uh, the tomorrow, I think October will start, right? September has 30 days. So come back October, we have to mentally prepare ourselves to go to Madhuban. That if I go to Madhuban, I'll be happy. No, I'm going to go to Madhuban anyways, but I'm going to be happy even before I go to Madhuban, so that I'm not relying on Madhuban to give me happiness. In fact, I'm going to Madhuban to give Madhuban happiness. You see the difference? You also see many times we look at others, they look calm, but they may not be calm internally. There may be a lot of turmoil going on. Maybe they have just mastered the art of looking calm. So, on one hand, yes, we have to be inspired by everyone, but not get too hooked on to what they are doing either. Their stage may be very artificial, who knows? So just look at yourself, look at Baba, and that will be the safest way of going about it. That's what I have worked on. But also another thing that I'm working on, that you see these phases as we grow, as we develop. Earlier we used to go to temple with the hope that happiness, peace, or even, maybe I want a job, I want a raise, I want a promotion, I want that project, or maybe my children are not listening to me, my in-laws are not listening to me, whatever problem there may be. So I even inspire people to shift it from the deity to Baba. So, in other words, you instead of going to the temple and asking deities for all these things, you come to Baba, come to the center and sit in front of Baba in Baba's room and say, Baba, I want a pay hike. Baba, I have this problem, my health. Baba, I'm going for my blood work, and hopefully my blood work comes out good. Yeah, Baba is not going to do anything, but that shift will allow you to go away from that. You understand? Yeah, the next step will be that you understand that actually Baba is not going to give anything. You have to do everything for yourself. But these phases have to be experienced, and each step is important. Yeah, so think of it like the powerhouse, the electric powerhouse where electricity is produced. It is not going to run your fan. It is going to provide the electricity which you have to tap into, so that you can then connect it to the fan, and the fan will spin and you will get the air. So, yes, the powerhouse is helping us, but not by spinning the fan, rather providing the electricity. So, Baba helps us not by fixing our bosses and in laws and whatever else. He's going to give us the energy, which we have to tap into actually to be able to fix everything in our lives. Let's say, in the past, we were finding happiness in going to birthday parties. Now we find happiness in going to center. The next, the understanding that center is not going to give me happiness. I have to give center happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand. So, and then automatically, as you, what what I'm trying to say is that subtle shift in our consciousness, subtle shift in our attitude, which will bring about all the difference that we want. So we'll go with that positive attitude. So what will happen is invariably you'll get everything that you want from the center, from the instruments, from Baba. And you go to Baba not in an empty state, but rather in a full state. And so you have become the children of the ocean of happiness, and you're therefore those who flow with the waves of happiness in every thought and at every second. You're constant treasures of happiness. This is called being a holy and happy swan. Bab Dada was saying that your aim is to have constant inner happiness without any limited support. However, some children move away from their aim and instead become trapped in the small side streets of limited attainments. So, Bab Dada was saying that your aim is to have constant inner happiness without any support. However, some children move away from their aim and instead become trapped in the small side streets of limited attainments. That's why I made everybody do that exercise, that mental exercise of seeing that everything that you have, everything that you own, everything that you are, think of it, let's say, has been stripped away. Will you still be happy? Yeah. Somebody takes away your children, your spouse, your house, your if we do this exercise intentionally, the first time when I did this exercise, it was actually very painful. But over time, I feel that I'm getting more and more comfortable with this practice. Seeing myself alone, seeing myself with nothing, nothing. Yeah, everything has been stripped away. All my shoes, my clothes, my house, my food. I'm homeless on the street. Just this little exercise that everything has been my health, my wealth, my family members, my friends, my relatives, my glory, my respect, nothing, everything A to Z has been stripped away. Let's say for me, for example, let's say this Raleigh Center has been stripped away. All students, all people, all connections, everything has been taken away by the universe. Can I still be happy? So right now, Sina, for a moment, try to visualize just alone with nothing. Shunya. Baba says Shunya. Complete Shunya. You have nothing, you are nothing. You hold nothing. Shun, complete shun. So you see, what I'm trying to get at is that happiness is your innate quality. Even when there is nothing, if you are stabilized in the essence of who you are, then you will be happy. So you see, now you bring back all of these things: house, spouse, children, in laws, parents, siblings, job, business, name, fame, glory. All these will appear now as very superfluous. They're there, good. They're not there, it's okay. I'm still happy. It's a powerful exercise, powerful exercise. See, reason why I'm saying is because a lot of big things are inevitable in the times to come. But the more we have practiced all these things, the more stable we will be when these situations do arise. One of the very senior brothers of the Yagya, his name was Brother Mahindra. He left his body many years back. We were there in Bhopal when he was the main in charge of the Bhopal zone. An amazing soul, powerful soul. And I've shared his story in the past that he was used to help the Brahma Kumaris a lot, the center. And in those days, the center used to have a lot of opposition. People didn't want these sisters there in that little town that he was living in. And they almost sort of created a siege around that center that in order to make the sisters go away from there, so that the sisters can't go out and no groceries, no milk, nothing can go there. So he would go in the middle of the night, jump over walls, jump from one house to the other, just to provide all these groceries to them. So one time, I guess he got caught, and so he was accused of having illicit relationships with the sisters. A profound allegation in the middle of the night just to provide the food to those poor sisters. So then next day they caught him. They actually tore off his clothes. He was put on a donkey, his face painted black, and then he was marched through the entire town. Now, despite all of this, he survived that, and not just survived, he actually thrived. So you see, in the world out there too, they talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. Now people are saying there's a different concept that needs to be understood, which is post-traumatic spiritual growth, PTSG. That actually these big challenges can become the substrate for growth, spiritual growth. Yeah. So yeah, in this way, they become distant from their aim, that is, from their destination. They leave the highway and become trapped in the side streets. They leave their aim of happiness and chase after limited attainments. If today their name is glorified or their work is accomplished and their desires are fulfilled, then they are happy. If they attain something they like or their thoughts are fulfilled, then they are very happy. If there is something lacking even slightly, they become stuck and their aim remains on one side. Their aim becomes limited and they therefore step away from unlimited, imperishable happiness. So Bab Dada was asking, is this why you have become Brahmins? Is this why you have adopted this spiritual life? That is an ordinary life. That is not called an elevated life. That we keep getting stuck in these silly matters. No matter what work you do, no matter how big the service task is that you are carrying out, anything that brings you down from attaining inner happiness, spiritual pleasure, and unlimited happiness, that is anything that brings you into the limited, that if today there is pleasure and tomorrow there is confusion, today there is happiness and tomorrow you're put into a turmoil, if it deprives you of happiness, then put aside that service, but do not let go of your happiness. No matter what work you do, no matter how big the service task is that you're carrying out, anything that brings you down from attaining inner happiness, spiritual pleasure, and unlimited happiness. So, pleasure, you see, these words don't get stuck in the word pleasure because pleasure is many times those physical type of pleasures. But really, that deep inner spiritual happiness is what is talking about. That is anything that brings you into the limited, that if today there is pleasure, that is today there is happiness, but tomorrow there is confusion. Today there is happiness and tomorrow you're put into a turmoil. If it deprives you of happiness, then put aside that service, but do not let go of your happiness. So here, many times people get confused. They think, oh, maybe if I do this service, then this soul is getting upset. So let me stop doing service. No, it's not like that. What Baba is talking about is many times our service is so ego driven We are so stuck in, I want to do this because it is my service and this is going to give me glory. But instead of that, if we understand it's all Baba's service, then there won't be ego and then it won't hurt anyone either. Yes, everybody has their own stage, everybody is working through their own processes, but Baba wants everyone to quickly rise so that there is less of discontentment. In that way, service grows, the center grows, everybody grows, but you yourself, individually, each one, then gains out of this whole thing. That's all. Take the time. And in a way, I'm so glad that there is this 12 minutes distance between the center and home. So the 12 minutes give us the opportunity, not every time. Sometimes we have phone calls to field, so many different things happen. But how our desire is, our intention most of the times is to create a good stage before we come to the center. So it's not that we'll go to the center to create our stage. We have to create our stage before we go to the center, as we go to the center. And of course, it's not that, oh, today my stage is not good, so I won't go to the center. No, I have to work on myself. And that's why I like that small sign that we have close to the shoes, that keep your egos and your shoes here. That is, keep your negative intentions, negative thoughts, negative feelings, emotions there, and then enter. That's what we try to do. I encourage our consciously. है ना? ठीक है? By saying real service always gives you the experience of an unlimited state. So, what is real service? Real service is when there is no ego involved. We are not constantly trying to level up against someone else. Yeah, not constantly trying to prove that we are better than someone else. So, that is real service. So, real service always gives you the experience of an unlimited stage and unlimited happiness. Yeah. So, real service always gives you the experience of an unlimited state and unlimited happiness. If there isn't this experience, then that service is mixed. That is not real service. Always keep the aim of experiencing self progress, attainment for the self, contentment in greatness by doing service. Always keep the aim of experiencing self progress, attainment for the self, contentment in greatness by doing service. Where there is the greatness of contentment, there will be the experience of imperishable attainment. Service means to enable the flower garden to flourish. Service means to experience the flower garden and not to become trapped in the jungle of thorns. Some lack of attainment, lack of pleasure, or confusion in mind, to experience pleasure one moment and to become confused the next. These are thorns. To step away from these thorns means to experience unlimited happiness. No matter what happens, even if you have to renounce some limited attainment, even if you have to renounce many things, let go of those things, but do not let go of your happiness. Do not step away from the aim with which you came here. Carry out this subtle checking. You're happy, but make sure that do not consider happiness based on temporary attainments to be your happiness. Check that you do not consider any sightseeing to be your destination, for sightseeing can be very attractive. However, to reach a destination means to claim a right to the unlimited kingdom. Those who step aside from their destination cannot claim a right to the kingdom of the world. They cannot even become part of the royal family. Therefore, always keep your aim and destination in your awareness. Ask yourself while moving along, I haven't gone into any limited streets, have I? The happiness of the temporary attainment is not making you step away from the fortune of eternal happiness, is it? You're not those who are happy with just a little, are you? You're not just pleasing yourself, thinking, whatever I am, however I am, I'm fine, I'm happy, are you? The sign of imperishable happiness is that you will definitely constantly be attaining blessings of happiness from others. The blessings of love from Bapdada and the seniors will give you the experience of internally moving along in an ocean of alokik and spiritual happiness. Out of carelessness, do not think I'm fine, but others do not know me. Can the light of the sun remain hidden? The fragrance of truth can never end. It cannot remain hidden. Therefore, never allow yourself to be deceived. Make this lesson firm. First is your unlimited imperishable happiness, and next is anything else. Unlimited happiness will automatically enable you to experience the elevated fortune of service, of everyone's love, and the fortune of receiving imperishable respect from everyone. Those who are constantly happy are fortunate. So, what is Baba saying? Those who are constantly happy are fortunate. They easily receive all attainments without effort, without any desires, without saying anything. Have you made this lesson full? You see, when you hold this thought that I need nothing, I have everything, I need nothing more, then everything comes to you. Yeah, see the paradox? The fuller you are, the more you get. The emptier you are, the more you lose. The less you get, the less you attract. So that's what Baba is trying to say. If you are happy, then more happiness will come to you. Don't let your happiness be dependent on something limited in the physical realm. Not just in the external world, but even in the BK world. Don't rely on even the BK world to make you happy. Yeah, because even BK world will fail to give you complete happiness. So the happiness that we have to work towards is this deep inner happiness. The more we are happy, then automatically, not just from the BK world, from the external world as well, the physical world, everything will come to us automatically. Yes. So we can stop here. Yeah, I didn't read too much of the Murli, but hopefully these examples and discussion has helped all of you in going deeper in the understanding of what is needed, what Baba wants from us. Not not that Baba wants from us, but Baba wants to see us happy. And just like you like to see your children happy, so you give them advice. Children, don't get into drugs, don't get into wrong things, because it's very possible then you will be robbed of your happiness. That's exactly what Baba is saying. If you rely on anything outside of you, then you will be at some point or the other will be deceived and be robbed of your happiness. That's it. ठीक है